Marshall Goldsmith, you've been long considered the #1 executive coach in the world. Now you've retired. You've been inducted into the Hall of Fame by the Thinkers 50. You continue to write books. You've edited books, more than 40 of them. 3 of them, New York Times bestsellers. I'm just so proud to be working with you and learning from you, Marshall.
And you know, Mark, I'm so honored to talk with you. Also, New York Times bestseller, and I think the new #1 executive coach in the world for CEOs and high potential CEOs. So,
oh, thank you.
I think, I'm just honored to be talking with you. And, one of the things that we've been talking about, which I'm living right now, is that concept of exit strategy. Know when it's time to move on.
How do you know?
One thing we've talked about, which I think is so funny, is the delusions we have.
Yes, indeed.
These stories that we hear. For example, one I hear is, well, the organization needs me so much right now. Now is not the right time to leave.
Oh, yes. And of course, the staff can't live without you. And
the staff can't live without me. I love that one. Another one is, I'm planning to leave next year, which goes on.
Oh, I have so many things yet to do. Yeah, other stuff to do before I leave. And
that successor, are they ready yet?
No, they're not ready.
Not quite
What
ready.
about that board? What would they do if I disappeared?
Well, and here's the problem. And this is one thing I talk about in my book, Succession, Are You Ready? If things are great, it's hard to leave. Everybody's saying, don't leave, we love you, don't leave, everything's great. When things are bad, it's hard to leave.
Yes.
You're like, I can't leave now, I'm gonna look like a loser.
Yep.
If it's hard to leave when things are going great,
what's it like when things ain't going so great?
It's hard to leave.
Right.
And one thing when I coach people is I say, look, leave with some dignity, leave with class. Know when it's time to go. And it's also, we can talk about this, good for the company.
Absolutely.
You've been there 8 or 10 years. You know what? They've probably heard everything you have to say anyway. Get over your ego. Maybe better have a new person.
And how about you growing? Can't you take your game up to the next level and serve others in a different way?
Well, in my own life, I can identify with this. This one thing I'm really proud of is, hey, I left at the top.
Yes.
I got ranked #1 all those years. Okay, it's God's way of saying you did that. Time to go. Why don't you help somebody else? Instead of making it about me, maybe I can help people. That led to our whole 100 Coaches program where I'm just trying to help as many people as I can.
Meeting Steve Covey in the early days, and I asked him, after all this success with the 7 habits of effective people, asked him, so what was the biggest principle that after all these years made the most difference? He said, start with the end in mind.
I love it.
And that would be a principle that you could carry through your exit strategy.
One person I made a tape with, Dan Levitan, who's a venture capital guy, great guy. And he talked about how in the venture capital world, you have to have an exit strategy. You don't get paid until there's an exit strategy.
Don't make a pitch until there's an exit strategy.
Don't make a pitch until there's an exit strategy.
What would be one question that comes to your mind when you think about this principle of knowing when to call the audible and do the exit strategy for yourself?
Well, one thing I'd love to hear, because I love these funny stories, is I'm sure everyone listening to us has seen leaders stay too long. What are the excuses that you've heard? I'd like to hear people talk about the excuses.
That'd be wonderful.
Because these are so funny. What are the excuses people use?
And think about your mapping of an exit strategy.
I think that's a great way to look at life. And I'm a little older, the time passes fast. And you need to really say in your occupation, what's next? You've got to find happiness, you've got to find meaning, you've got to find an important what's next. So great to talk.
It's a great idea. Thanks.